Can you explain the math behind crit rating and crit damage calculations? No, I explained what crit rate does and how it is calculated into crit chance, what crit chance does, and how it applies to crit damage, and then what crit damage does. Hey Migs, what do you call a bee that comes from America? A USB. my reaction made it so much worse. We'll go with the bobcat. So the bobcat, basically, here's how crit rate works. The first 10 crit rate is worth more than the second 10, which is more than the third 10, which is more than the fourth 10. So if the first 10 gives you 10, the second 10 will give you 9.9, the third 10 will give you 9.7, the fourth 10 will give you 9.2, the fifth 10 will give you 8, 7, 4, 2, 1, etc. The more crit rate you have, the less that new chunk of crit rate is actually worth in terms of crit chance. So the bobcat has a base crit of 10% plus 30 crit rating equals 38%. So like 30 crit rate is the same as 30 crit chance, except it degrades, right? So it's actually not giving you a full 30. Normally, if you had 30 crit rate and 10% base crit, you'd have 40. But instead of 40, you have 38. So you lost 2% because the crit rate does not give you full, because it starts being less and less valuable as you get more of it. And the more you get, the less it's worth. Hey Migs, why did the ghost ride the elevator? To lift his spirits. So once you get up to about 50 to 60%, you get very little to no crit chance at all for the crit rate that you put into it. So it has a degrading value. Once you get up to about 50%, it's not really worth trying to go any higher, because it's just, you're not getting very much value at all out of that crit rate. So crit rate equals crit chance. Crit chance is the percentage chance that every single bullet you fire is going to get a critical hit. So when I shoot you with the bobcat, there's a 38% chance that my bullet's going to crit. So out of 100 bullets, 38 of them are going to get a critical hit on you. Now, every single time I get a critical hit on you, that bullet gets amplified by your critical hit damage. So the critical hit damage on this one is 320%. So that means you're getting whatever damage you do. Say you do 100 damage, right? Your critical hit, and every time you get a crit, instead of doing 100 damage, you're going to do 100 damage times 320%. So basically times 3.2. So I hope that makes sense to you. I know numbers are complicated, but 38 out of 100 bullets on this gun are going to crit. And those 38 bullets are going to do damage times 300%. So you're going to do huge bonus damage on 38 out of 100 bullets. That's for this gun here. So hopefully that's easy enough to understand. The higher the crit chance, the larger, the more bullets are going to get critical hits. And the critical hits, the amount of damage that you do when you get a critical hit is adjusted by the critical hit damage multiplier.